Call the meeting to order. Jackson County Commission Work Session, March 5th, 2018. Mr. Manning, would you do a roll call for us today, please?
Yes, sir. District 1, Mr. Duffy. Present. District 2, Mr. Venable. District 3, Ms. Gilbert.
Present.
District 4, Mr. Sis. Present. Chairman also present.
Thank you, Mr. Manning. Time now for the invocation. Mr. Porter.
Yes, sir. God, our Father, we're blessed. We're thankful for this time of year, the time of renewal of the ground and the earth. We're thankful for that and thankful for the flowers that are blooming in the sunshine we've seen the last several days. God, we pray that you watch over us and guide each and every one of us. We pray that you'll be with the commissioners that are here today. Pray for wisdom and guidance from you so that they'll make good decisions for the county and the folks that live here. God, we pray you watch over us in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Who would join Mr. Duffy with the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have approval for tonight's meeting, March 7th, 2018. We have a motion, we have a second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Next, we'll have comment from citizens. First, we have Dr. Wayne Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds?
Yes, my name is Wayne Reynolds, and I'm a candidate for state school board. I'm giving you my background, and actually got invited here by Mr. Sis because we both got stranded in D.C. together, and y'all will forgive me, but I helped get back. I'm a retired public school superintendent. I served, I was 10 and a half years as superintendent. You've got my bio back there. I will tell you that part of my way of what I want to do on the state school board is I'll be in touch with every school superintendent. I've met at length with with Dr. Diaz and Mr. Dukes, for at least an hour with both of them talking about issues, and I've been at every superintendent in the district, which is 5 counties except one, and I meet with Huntsville Superintendent Monday. And then I'm going to come back, meet with county commissioners, I'll meet with school boards, and like he invited me to go to Skyline tonight over the issue of school safety, and because I love education. I would never be where I am if it weren't for education, and I don't want to waste a lot of your time because I know it's a work session, but I want to be visible after elected just like I am here, and you all know you get elected how important visibility is and integrity is. So any questions?
I want to say one thing about Mr. Reynolds. Like you said, he got me back here.
I didn't even know you, did I?
Didn't even know me. But this man is stand up for you in education like he did for me, not even know me. He went to supervisors and got things done. And he's definitely got my vote.
We even brought your wife back too.
Exactly. I seen right then, I said, that man is, when he got an issue in his mind, he's going to the top.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds.
I'm just Wayne. He put the Dr. Reynolds on there. I'm just Wayne.
Okay, the next person we have that's going to speak with public comments is Mr. Harold Prince.
I'm back for the same old thing, about speed hump in our subdivision that, as far as I'm concerned, was illegally put in. And there's also a big boulder there. 2 cars can't even hardly pass. If 2 cars meet right there, one of them has to go around it in the mud over there and everything on one side of the road. And of course, we don't want our road given to the city of Stevenson. From what I can find out and researched a little bit, $600 in 38 years is all that's been spent on repair on our road. So I don't think it's a burden on the county to keep that road in the county. Now, and that's what I wanted to speak on. And I'd like to hear what our district commissioner has to say about it. Mr. Guthrie.
To be honest with you, I don't live in that area.
You are the district commissioner, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I was just saying,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm talking about as far as, just like Bridgeport, we had an issue not long ago,
Yeah.
that somebody wanted to take a part of it. We had a community meeting to see what the public wanted.
I know we got
The only
work
problem I
done.
have with this is, I've looked at both of them, and I got a petition to put the speed bump up, and about half of these is on the petition to put the speed bump
A
in.
lot of people call and have their names taken off.
Well, I say, I'm just looking at the speed
Right,
bump.
I understand.
And if, for us as a body, we try to do what the people want, because none of us live on Sarah Lane.
Right.
So we're, we just wanna do what the majority of the people want. We've been requested to take it out, so if the majority of the people want it in, we'll leave it in. If the majority wants it out, we'll take it out. But that's just what we stand.
I think that petition pretty much speaks, there was 10 or 11 names on the other petition. And the thing about it, he didn't get permission to put it in to start with. That's the issue.
Well, say
Mr.
there was some
Campbell,
controversy on,
Mr. Campbell, they talked, to Mr. Campbell, and he didn't advise them to put it in.
yeah, it's not our policy to put speed bumps on a county road.
Yeah. I don't think anybody sitting there would want to leave their house every day and go across the speed hump to get in there. In parks and places like that, I'm 100% for it, where children play
Yeah.
and everything. But in our subdivision, it's just not right. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all and tell you what I think. If the mayor's brother didn't live there, it wouldn't be there. There's no more in that town in any subdivision.
Well, we need to stay on the subject at hand.
Okay, well, that was part of it.
And we need to limit our time.
All right, well, that's basically all I got to say.
But we're gonna get some more information on it before we have a community meeting. And that way, we got everything, all the info, when we go up there. But we'll announce before we have a community meeting.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in 2 weeks, and
We hope to be able to do it at the next work session, which will be week after next, if we can get.
That's
Get
why
the
it's
information, get the information Tim is working on up there, is that right?
Yeah.
week after next, is that not
Yeah, that's the
correct?
plan,
That's what our plan is.
unless we don't get the information back to us.
Okay,
Because we requested plots and to see exactly where the city limit starts and stops, and I just want to make sure we got everything. I don't want to come up there and not have all the information. So,
okay.
but we'll make sure you know, if something changes.
Thank you, Mr. Prince. Next we have is Miss Ann Prince.
Yes, I want to speak on this petition too, as to what Mr. Guthrie said, as to why there is names on here that is not names, that are the same names that's on this other one. The sister-in-law of the mayor took her petition around in the neighborhood. And she is the only one who has ever placed a complaint in our neighborhood about someone speeding. No citations have ever been issued. She told the people that her petition was to protect the children in their neighborhood. We've never had a child hit by a car. We have very few children there. When in reality, the petition was to protect her cats.
Now, we need to stay away from personal attacks at this public meeting.
Well, I'm
If we can't-
explaining
if we
why
can't-
there is names
We have to
on
stay away
each
from personal
petition.
attacks, or we'll have to ask you to be seated.
Well, I will be seated, but I wanted to explain why he asked the names were on this petition. That's the reason they removed them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You ready to go? You ready to go?
If we're through, I am.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next, we have discussion items for commission. First item that we have is discuss federal aid resurfacing selection. Mr. Campbell, I guess this will be yours.
Thank you, Chairman, Commissioners. In your packets, please find 2018 proposed federal projects. And I'll start by saying the last projects we selected, I think, was titled 2019, so it's 2019 and now we're backing up to 2018, but what it really boils down to is we have realized some savings with the last 2 federal aid projects that have let. And so we need to select another resurfacing project and have it in the works so we can be making preparations on plan sets and all the documentation and things to get this project initiated and underway. So that's essentially what this first sheet is. It's a compilation of the projects to choose from. And you'll notice there are some returning projects there, and I'll just start and go through each one. But County Road 59, we've spoken about this in the previous two selections, so you're seeing it again. It's still in bad shape. 16 is there. County Road 90 is the newer entry, and then 47 we've spoken about some, but it's a different category, as you'll notice, in pavement preservation, and I'll talk more about that later. So I thought I'd just break down each one and kind of explain or overview some of this, and then we'll delve into each one with some photos and talk a little more and hopefully answer any questions you may have. So County Road 59, it was a project we talked about before, 1.9 miles, and that's from County Road 16 to the DeKalb County line.
This is going towards Sylvania, correct?
Yes, ma'am, Buckham's Crossroads there. 83 AlDOT rating, 625 vehicles per day, last resurfaced in '03, and you can see our estimate there on the cost to resurface that. Next, County Road 16, Highway 71 to the county line, 5.758 miles, so long project, 86 rating, 382 vehicles per day, last resurfaced in 2000, and you can see that length of project has its price tag there. County Road 90, so this is Highway State Route 73 there in Bryant to the state line, should read the state line, 1.8 miles, 89 rating, a lot of cars per day, 2,067, last resurfaced in '01, and the price to do that work. Lastly, County Road 47. So this is a resurfacing type project, but it's pavement preservation. What we're proposing on that is basically a cape seal. So where you'll see new asphalt layers, extra depth patching in these other projects, this project would include extra depth patching and a cape seal. What that is essentially a scrub seal. And a scrub seal is the road is flooded with liquid asphalt, topped with an aggregate, and then a micro surfacing on top of that. So you get a new surface, but it's not a virgin hot mix asphalt layer. It's the flood seal topped with a micro. So it's a thin overlay, and that is because this roadway is in essentially good condition except for a few places. But this is a less costly procedure that would preserve that good pavement for longer to prevent these resurfacing costs. So
Is that flood seal that we did on County Road 8?
that was a triple surface treatment.
Okay.
It's similar in application. It would be two applications. That was a kind of a reconstruction there, but it would have similar in application, but the wearing surface would be different. It's a much smaller aggregate, and it's actually a slurry seal. It resembles pavement more, I guess is what I'm
That
trying
the
to say.
gritty, that the complaints were coming in on that one?
Yeah. Okay, so we'll, now, I need to disclaim this too. On 47, there have been some talks with the state about pursuing some additional funding. So we don't know, at this stage of the game, we don't know where that's headed, but I wanted to keep this on the table for discussion because I think it's a good option to prevent some costly procedures that are coming not too far down the road. I think you'll see by the pictures. So kind of following along in the same order, County Road 59. Last resurfaced in '03, you can tell by the pictures, it's really showing its age. It was in poor condition, I think, when we talked last, and it has worsened, I think you'll agree. Next, County Road 16, a long project, basically all the way through Dutton, down to the county line. It's holding up good for, its age, but it's most likely because it just don't have near the traffic that the other projects have. And when it was last resurfaced, I will say that this entire project, the same length that we're proposing today, it was all done in one project. County Road 90 is the high ADT route that goes out to our neighboring state. Last resurfaced in '01. And then County Road 47, you'll see there the pictures. And the top left and lower right are, oh, that's the worst case scenario out there on the road. The top right and lower left are really more representative of the overall condition of the roadway. So that, if you kind of picture that, if we had plenty of resources and we were able to manage this thing like we need to, we could take roads like 47 and apply these treatments that are much less costly and cover a lot more ground. So ideally, in our perfect world, we could be doing this while still working on our backlog of back roads, but we're keeping the good roads good. So hopefully we'll get there. Any questions? That was kind of fast. Any questions about all of these or any of these?
Do we do any contracting with Whitaker? Of our person?
Yeah, so it depends. All these projects we're discussing on federal aid, we will prepare a plan set, they'll go through plan reviews with ALDOT, and they will go through an ALDOT official letting. So what that will allow it to do is, it'll be opened up to competitive bids.
Right.
So we will solicit bids through that process. They will actually, they'll be reviewed, and then ALDOT will recommend award to local contractor. So to answer your question, our local market now, Reed typically, Wiregrass, and then Whitaker Contracting is usually always in the mix.
Is this something that we need to vote on to agree that this is our federal project?
We have two in the works now, and perhaps I should have started with that review. But as you all remember, this body has voted to move forward with County Road 63. It's been led, it's been awarded, and that work will begin in April. The next project that was selected by us is County Road 42, which we're on track right now for a July letting, so we could anticipate September, October start date. So yes, in order to move this project forward, we have to vote, do a resolution, proceed the same way as the others in selecting a road and put up our match money.
Which one would you suggest?
Normally I say it don't matter. You could pick a dart and throw it, but 59's bad. It's in bad shape.
Do we need to pick one?
One project. Well, right now, after 42, after we obligate our funds for 42, barring any outrageous overruns, which we don't anticipate, we're sitting at about 1.2 million federal aid balance. We have our eye on, we've been narrowing down bridges that we could afford, and we have our eye on a couple of bridges that will most likely bring forward for selection also for a federal aid project. So I would suggest probably one of these, and then let's look at this bridge too. But if you all feel conviction that you want to get two of these, there's about 1.2 million available. So, and we're thinking this bridge probably in the 750,000 range. There's a bridge on 42 that met the criteria, along with a bridge on 260.
Well, if we do the bridge, there really could be enough money, so we're looking at about $400,000 for one of these if we do the bridge, right?
Yeah, now we'll have another 533,000 allocation October. So, about the time 42 is complete or starting, we'll receive another 533.
The bridge is already in the making.
Well, no, I'll bring that forward also for selection, but yeah, our wheels are turning on it because
Sorry, go ahead.
they're poor condition bridges.
So the worst one being 59.
Worst one, in my opinion, is 59, yeah, and one thing to work as a guide for you there is this ALDOT rating.
Yeah.
That's a survey that we do in conjunction with ALDOT to score our roadways so that we have
The lower the worst.
lower the worst.
It'd be my suggestion to do 59.
What about on 47, you said state pursue additional funds, when will we know anything about that?
I'm really not sure. I sent some correspondence out this week requesting a meeting with our legislative delegation to further discuss this, and that's following up with a meeting we had with ALDOT.
Okay.
So I don't know where that's headed, but our basis that we presented that on was EDA's new technology site that they have behind Northeast Community College, the college itself, and the fact that that's a major corridor for Jackson and DeKalb County citizens. So that's our,
Do you think we'll have an answer by the time you put the bridge forward?
that's our sales pitch. I'm hopeful, but I'm really not sure, to be honest. It's good.
Yeah, I think you're right. 59 for me with that, having
Yeah.
83. Just working away, worse.
See where we at, worst scale there.
Well, if there's no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for the next commission meeting. Next is discuss the concrete pavement project. Does that be you also, Mr. County?
Yes, sir, thank you. So in your packets, it's the thick one. So I'll just start on this by explaining the problem first, and then we'll talk of the solution at the end. Okay, so the issue is, as you can see from the pictures, there are multiple sites throughout the county to where there is enormous heavy hauling traffic that's in and out continuously. And so the location there on County Road 33 in front of Reed Quarry, you know, this thing hasn't been going all that long, and this is what we're seeing out there.
And that's on 33?
Yes, ma'am. County Road 107, you can see the condition there in front of that quarry. This is also a quarry. And then 137, the new industry there, the concrete plant, you can see what the concrete trucks
Concrete?
are doing. Southern Concrete.
Yeah, but it's concrete.
Yes, ma'am. And then, lastly, traffic in front of the sawmill. On County Road 261. So it's been my experience that when you have an enormous amount of heavy truck traffic, and this has happened with the state too, the very best solution we arrived at was essentially reconstructing the base. As you can see, some of these are exhibiting some severe base failure, but also the surface in which the traffic is on. If it's not of a certain resilience, it just can't withstand the pressure of the turning of loaded trucks. So about the only thing we've had success with staying in place in a permanent solution is concrete pavement. So, and I'm moving into the discussion talk about the solution now. So in the back part of those disaster pictures, you'll see what I'm gonna talk about. So that's a typical section there, and what that represents is what we're proposing as a fix or solution for these locations. And that's gonna be basically a 24-inch deep excavation, 10-inch thick of riprap base material, some geotextile fabric in there to separate it, 6-inch crushed stack base, and then that 8-inch thick concrete pavement. And this concrete pavement will mimic the design of County Park Road. That's a local example. 72 in County Park Road?
Yeah.
You remember what that was like before the concrete pavement. Same things that this stuff exhibits, okay? So there's, in front of Walmart, we've had some success there, but if I remember correctly, that was stone matrix asphalt. And you can have success with that material, but it's very costly and it's hard to acquire. The plants don't manufacture it very often, and you really need a large quantity of material for them to justify the extra expense of making it. But it's large stone-on-stone contact, so it's resilient. Aside from that, the next best solution is concrete pavement. So that's what we're proposing, and it's the same, very similar design that's County Park intersection there. It'll be basically an 8-inch concrete slab on top of that base I mentioned that's reinforced. And then the next page is an estimate. So this is what, based on the measurements from the sites, looking at the areas where they would be braking, like their turning maneuvers and coming in and out, this is what we think it'll cost to do the project. So you can see a pretty sizely cost there. And then the last sheet is the funding that we're proposing, or the fund in which we would propose to pay for it. 119 is a severed material tax fund that can be used for road reconstruction. So, in my opinion, this is a perfect fit to a solution in these areas. So severed material, as I read it, would be resources taken from the earth, sold as property, okay? That would be how those taxes would be accumulated. So this kind of seems to be a perfect fit, in my opinion, that these places that, you know, are involved or benefiting from those things would also fund the repair. So I feel like if we pursue this, it's probably the only real way we're gonna have a permanent solution in these locations. I really don't feel confident telling you that anything we put out there is gonna stay, and, you know, for any kind of length.
But comparing the two funds, we're coming up a little short.
Yes, ma'am, we are a little short, and we've tried to be maybe a little overzealous in our estimates, so, you know, any additional funding, we're looking at, you know, cash balance from 111 or other sources.
Any discussion from the commission?
Is this something we need to move forward with now, or like the other, or what?
If you guys are comfortable moving forward, we can.
We're dealing with two concrete companies, but we gotta go with specs, ain't we? Make it all work. I said we're dealing with two concrete companies, Reed and Southern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but in order to make it all work out, it's gotta be by
Well,
specs.
there's nothing saying that one of those companies won't get the bid. You know, it'll be, well, so if you all are interested in pursuing this, then what we're basically looking for is an intent to move forward. So we haven't delved very deep into these things. It's basically concept and some quantities right now to kind of see what it's gonna cost. If we're interested in pursuing this, then we need to get busy creating a plan set, okay? Getting the specifications in order, soliciting bids, and before we award any contract or get under construction on anything, we'll bring it back for your review before it's awarded. So you'll see, here's the plans, here are the specs, here are the bidders. Do you all feel comfortable moving forward? If so, we'll award the bid. If not, we go back to the drawing board.
I think we need to move forward. I've visited on them locations, they're in bad shape.
If we don't do something, they're just gonna get worse. You know, that's the issue.
But essentially, if to answer your question, Ms. Gilbert, if you feel comfortable in moving forward with this, we can vote on the intent to move forward with this project. That'll give us the leeway to start to get to work. If you all need more information or more time, there's no rush, you know, no pressure.
I'm with you, I think it needs to be done. It's only gonna get worse and worse. If this is a fix, I think this is a good place for the money. A good place for money to go. If there is no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for the next commission meeting. Next item we have is discuss funds collected by Sand Mountain Electric Co-op for the fire departments in their coverage area. This was brought to my attention today, and this has been in the works for a while. This is something I think that our Representative Tommy Haynes has been working on out there. Tim, interrupt me anytime if I get off base on this. Basically, the people that live in the Sand Mountain Electric Cooperative area have the opportunity on each of their power bills to place a donation on their payment to go toward one of 8 or 9 fire departments out there.
That's right.
And this money will be collected and will stay in the fund for a year. And what they're asking is for the money that they collect be transferred to the county commission, and then in turn write each of these fire departments a check out.
Right.
They first wanted to do it with the fire association, but the fire association's bylaws state that any money that goes into the fire association has to be earmarked for certain things.
Right.
But with us being the holder of the money for just a few days, they can use the money for anything, any project that fire department has. Like they can pay for their propane or their diesel fuel or electric bill out of it, which they can't do with money that goes into the fire association. And as, again, repeating myself, they're to collect this money for a year. they would send us the money, and then we would pay the money out, send the guy.
To Dutton, Macedonia, Rosalie, Tri-Community, Langston, Peaceland section.
Right. It's just for the ones that's,
On San
the
Luis.
citizens that's given.
So is that
those areas.
something that we could pursue with the other stuff, since you're more familiar with it?
Well, it depends on the cooperative here.
Right.
Has
See,
it been
these,
pursued?
well, I mean, these guys, I mean, it ain't something the commission's doing. These guys is one that went to San Mountain Electric. And I don't know if the other areas didn't agree. I just know that this San Mountain Electric's the only one that's agreed. I mean, we could do it.
Probably something
Any of them.
approach, they do some.
I mean, it wouldn't be us to do, but I
No,
mean,
no.
I'm saying, would, do you know,
The only thing they're
if
asking
the
us
locals down
to,
this way could, if we could advise them to
Yeah,
maybe
they,
follow the same path?
yeah, they could, as long as they're cooperative.
I mean,
agrees.
you know, all I can say is no.
Yeah.
but we'd be coming in once a year and just basically writing,
We'd have it
seven
about-
checks.
We'd have it about 30 days roughly to be in and out.
Yeah, it ain't
No
gonna
more
cost
than
us
30
anything.
days.
Right. I think it's a good thing.
Mr. Manning, do you see a problem with it?
Is there the money?
Not if it's clearly, I'm trying to read all of the contract, as long as it's.
Three tells our responsibilities.
Yeah, as long as it's all in here, as far as, would they be sending us the money once a month? or would
Once a
they-
year.
Once a year, I mean, or would, okay, not
Yeah.
once a month.
Right,
Yeah,
once a
right.
year.
Yeah, San Mountain
That whole
Electric will-
year.
We can handle money however they get it,
Yeah.
and then when we just, it wouldn't be a problem for us to write the checks out.
Mr. Porter, have you had an opportunity to review this?
I have not, I just have seen it the first time, I would like a chance to look at it.
Yeah, I'd like you to read it before you actually vote on it.
Right.
So we're gonna put it for the next meeting?
Yeah,
Based
I'd
on,
like
whether
to.
unless Mr. Porter has a problem with it?
Okay, if there's no objection, we'll place this on the agenda for the next work session. Next commission meeting. Next, it's time for a report from staff. Mr. Campbell, do you have anything else?
No, sir, thank you.
Mr. Manning?
No, sir.
Now we have comments about the commission. Ms. Gilbert?
I just want to say our trip to Washington was very productive, I felt like. I was very proud of each one of you that spoke up and represented our community. I did mention something to Rick about next year, maybe we all need to get together before we go, like the week before, and discuss, because I don't know about you guys, but I felt like by the end of our meetings, the commission was supporting the city and the municipalities were supporting all the other organizations that were in the room. And we were echoing what they were saying and backing it and supporting it and adding to it. Whereas at the first meeting, we were kind of all on our own agendas.
Right.
And then we became more of a group effort. And I think if we meet next year, and so you guys can think about that, and I was very proud of the group that went.
Mr. Sis?
I'm gonna go along with what she just mentioned right there. I mean, it's like we said before, you can sit right here in Jackson County and not get any recognition, or you can go forward and try to meet with all your representatives in Washington and help to bring something back to the table, and I feel like we're doing that. Well pleased.
Mr. Porter, do you have anything?
I don't have anything, thanks, sir.
Mr. Guthrie? I don't have anything else, so with that, it seems to have everything on today's agenda. With that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Meeting adjourned.